Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight, just weeks to the start of the Winter Olympics, a signal to Beijing.
We will not be contributing to the fanfare of the Games.
The U.S. will send athletes, but nobody else. What sources tell us about what Canada will do.
CBC News investigates the circumstances surrounding hundreds of cases of domestic homicide and finds patterns.
It is absolutely vital to our understanding of how to combat domestic violence and domestic homicide that we are able to have this kind of tracking.
A clash off the field. The wild moments after a Grey Cup playoff game that police are now investigating.
And Chanel gets roasted over its $1,000 advent calendar.
This has to be a joke. This is a joke. Stickers? Stickers?
This is The National. The United States has sliced open a deep diplomatic rift with China less than 2 months out from the start of the Beijing Olympics.
And Canada is being pressured to pile on. All this developing just as we learn that Canada's ambassador to China is leaving the post. So here's today's bombshell. The White House said no diplomats or any U.S. officials will be sent to the Games. Their athletes will still compete, but there's no doubt this is meant to be a slap in the face to China's global prestige. The White House press secretary cited what she called China's ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity.
Today's move leaves an open question for other Western nations, including Canada, a country that has its own pointed issues with China's strong-arm tactics. David Cochran is following that tonight.
United States of America.
It's an athletic show of force whenever the U.S. team enters the Olympic Games. Now, a diplomatic show of force, as U.S. officials say they will boycott the next ones.
We will not be contributing to the fanfare of the Games. U.S. diplomatic or official representation would treat these Games as business as usual.
The athletes will still go, the politicians and diplomats will not, provoking a strong reaction from Beijing. The Chinese Foreign Ministry called the boycott grandstanding and a defilement of the Olympic spirit before vowing countermeasures.
We have been having conversations with partners and allies around the world about the Beijing Olympics.
The Prime Minister confirmed last month Canada was considering a diplomatic boycott, a move the opposition parties support.
I think that's the best thing we can do alongside our allies to show pressure.
This is a strong gesture that should be taken by the Liberal government. I hope Mr. Trudeau will follow Mr. Biden.
There's no serious thought of pulling Canadian athletes from these games. Canada last did that in 1980 when Western nations boycotted the Moscow Olympics to protest the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. But a diplomatic and political boycott is still an option to protest China's treatment of the Uyghur Muslim minority and the arbitrary detention of Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor.
So far, a decision hasn't been made. We are, of course, very preoccupied with the violations of human rights in China. It's not a decision that we're going to take lightly.
So, David, when do we know what Canada's going to do?
Well, you know, this move by the U.S. is going to give this some urgency and momentum, but even so, Canadian officials say they don't want to act too quickly and they don't want to act alone. And if you look at the Spavor and Kovrig situation, Canada focused on building a coalition of like-minded countries to increase the pressure on China. And sources tell me that's the approach here. Work with your allies so that if you do take this step, it's done in significant numbers. And on that point, watch two events this week for signs of what may happen. The Summit for Democracy that President Biden is hosting and a meeting of G7 foreign ministers. We might see something out of those.
Okay, strength in numbers, it seems. We'll be watching. Thank you, David. David Cochran in Ottawa.
You're welcome. Thanks.
As we mentioned, Canada's ambassador to China says he will be stepping down at the end of the month. So December 31st will be Dominic Barton's last day after 2 years on the job. In a statement, Barton says his decision comes after achieving his top priority, helping secure the release of Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, two Canadians who spent more than 2 years in Chinese custody. Prime Minister Trudeau released his own statement today thanking Barton for his work.
Well, after scientists identified the Omicron variant, many Canadian travelers got stuck in the uncertainty of the sudden government response. Ellen Morrow shows us the difficult situations they are now navigating when finally arriving here at home.
Chris Rigby was in Botswana when his way home became way more complicated. He's still stuck in a Toronto quarantine hotel despite testing negative for COVID days ago.
There doesn't seem like there's anyone logistically that's taking charge or that's been put in charge to kind of take care of, of the guests in the hotel.
Canada's public health agency is overseeing the quarantine of Canadians returning from 10 African countries. They must now stay at a designated facility until they receive a negative COVID test. Then they can leave the hotel and self-isolate for the remaining 14 days. But while the government is paying for the rooms, those at the hotels describe confinement without clarity.
Financially, physically draining, mentally draining.
Sarah Masad was visiting her grandma in Cairo. It took 30 hours between getting negative results and Masad being allowed to leave the hotel.
Honestly, at every single step, it felt like this was the worst part, but then there was another step that was worse.
Soon, Ottawa says all returning air travelers, except those coming directly from the U.S., will be tested on arrival and asked to make their own arrangements to isolate until they get a result. But testing at airports is still ramping up to support that policy.
This will require more time, and that people should be factoring that into their travel plans, but it's a necessary and fair trade-off.
It's a hodgepodge of approaches that isn't ideal by any means.
Instead, the government should shorten the 72-hour testing window before people fly to Canada, says this epidemiologist.
And adopt a more universal strategy towards testing. I like the idea of having testing 24 hours before a flight.
That policy has just come into effect in the U.S., catching some Toronto travelers off guard.
I know it's causing a lot of people some trouble today.
Just be on top of all the rules that are changing.
Sage advice as the holiday travel season looms. Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
An oral treatment for COVID-19 will soon be produced in Canada. Pharmaceutical giant Merck says it is investing $19 million to scale up production of its antiviral drug in a facility east of Toronto. The company says it will make Canada a global hub for the production of that treatment. The drug is currently still pending approval from Health Canada.
This is the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. It's marked on the anniversary of the École Polytechnique massacre.
On this day, 32 years ago, a gunman entered a classroom, told the men to leave, and shot the women. He would go on to kill 14 women in all, injuring another 10. Today, they were remembered. At the school, roses were quietly laid near the names of those lost on December 6, 1989. Then tonight, they were honored again as 14 beams of light were projected into the sky from Mount Royal. The Prime Minister was part of the crowd, kept small again this year because of the pandemic.
Now today, CBC News is releasing the results of a 16-month-long investigation into hundreds of intimate partner homicides in this country over the last 5.5 years. Detailed national case tracking like this has never been done before. Getting that data is a struggle, but it's vital to understanding the problem. Tara Carmen explains what that data shows often comes before a death. And a warning, this contains a detailed account of abuse.
It's a little bit hot.
Delilah McKeith never thought she'd be raising her grandkids. But on February 23, 2017, she took on the role of mom after her daughter, Nicole Clifford, was stabbed to death. The accused, her estranged husband.
She said, "Mom, I'm not happy. I'm abused. And I live in fear." I said, "Come home. It's time to come home." And she died shortly after.
McKeith's daughter's story is like hundreds of others. CBC News has compiled groundbreaking data for nearly 400 cases. Predictably, patterns emerge. Murders happening during or right after a separation, previous reports of abuse, controlling behavior. Data like that is missing in a lot of the cases we analyzed. But CBC News found at least one of those factors in more than a third of cases, like Nicole Clifford's.
Huge, huge. Stalking her while she's staying here, staring over her as she's sleeping. Stuff like that. Creepy, creepy, creepy stuff like that.
A judge can order an abuser to stay away from their partner. And for some people, that will work. But for the cases where we have the data, 36 homicide victims had protection orders. Paula Simons is an independent senator from Alberta and former journalist who covered domestic homicides. She says this is the first time she's seen detailed data nationwide.
It is absolutely vital to our understanding of how to combat domestic violence and domestic homicide that we are able to have this kind of tracking.
For McKeith, her former son-in-law's trial starts next summer. Until then, she keeps Nicole's memory alive for her grandkids.
I feel that her ashes belong to her children. Because as far as I am concerned, the day that she stopped breathing, everything belongs to those kids. That is their mother. She belongs to them.
So Tara, quite clearly the team has assembled a lot of data here, but also it seems there's some important information missing here.
Yes, Adrienne, a lot of the information we need about a couple's relationship or any previous court involvement comes from court documents. And right now we only have those for about half of the cases that we're dealing with. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Some cases like murder-suicides, for example, don't go to court. And in others, the police didn't give us the names of victims or accused to even search for those records. There are about 60 instances where we couldn't determine a victim's identity through police information. So this means most of our findings likely understate the real trends and that CBC News has a lot more digging to do.
And we know you will keep doing it. Tara, thank you very much for this. There is much more to come on this important topic tonight, including a look at what can be done to help those in need and prevent future violence.
Kids need to know that it's not normal to receive 100 text messages a day from the person that loves them.
So a little later, the push to help everyone better understand red flags when they see them. So there is help for anyone who needs it. EndingViolenceCanada.org and ShelterSafe.ca both list crisis supports, shelters, and sexual assault resources. But in cases of immediate danger, of course, you should call 911 or another local emergency number.
Well, we have another story emerging from the military tonight. 2 sexual assault complainants tell CBC News that their cases were closed because the men they accused declined to be interviewed by investigators. As Ashley Burke shows us, the women feel betrayed, particularly because of the timing.
This retired Canadian Armed Forces member says being sexually assaulted 20 years ago left her broken. Now finally reporting it has left her stunned.
I feel misled, I feel let down, I feel robbed of the justice that should happen as a result of this investigation.
She asked us to keep her identity confidential to avoid jeopardizing an ongoing HR process. Earlier this year, she filed a complaint against a now senior officer. She claims he and another superior sexually assaulted her at the same time. But she says the Canadian Forces National Investigation Service dropped the case because the alleged perpetrators declined to be interviewed.
They said the case was closing for due to insufficient evidence. The only evidence that they have is my testimony. So why are you asking people to come forward on historical cases if you're not going to do the work to really get to the bottom of it?
This former lawyer for the military justice system says that system shouldn't rely on the accused cooperating.
It feels like the usual people who get that sort of treatment of they don't want to talk to us, so we don't want to proceed, tends to be of people within higher authority compared to, relative to the victim.
That's why some wish their cases would be passed along to civilian investigators. Instead, 2 complainants were told their rape cases against senior officers were officially closed. On the exact same day, the new Minister of National Defense, Anita Anand, announced a major development.
We are going to be moving sexual assaults, including historical sexual offenses alleged to have been perpetrated by members of the CAF, past and present, to civilian courts.
My case was closed just before some arbitrary deadline, therefore will not be sent to civilian prosecutors. I will feel robbed of a second opinion that I think that I deserve.
Okay, so Ashley, how many cases were closed around the same time as that announcement?
Well, Andrew, despite our requests over the past 3 weeks, the Provost Marshal's office won't say how many cases it closed in the days before that announcement and the weeks that followed. They say it takes time to analyze those numbers, and the focus right now is on preparing to transfer cases to civilian authorities. But the office did say there's nothing stopping military members from filing a new complaint with civilian police. The complainants, though, said that they aren't satisfied with that answer because it means starting back at square one, and it puts the onus back on the victim.
Okay, thank you, Ashley Burke.
Thank you.
Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole has asked for a probe into allegations of verbal abuse and staff mistreatment by one of his own MPs.
We have to make sure that we are welcoming people to work on Parliament Hill free of any form of harassment or a bad workplace. These are allegations at present, but I've asked the House of Commons to investigate them.
CBC News spoke with 3 former staffers of Alberta MP Shannon Stubbs. They described the work environment as toxic, hostile, and high stress. In a statement to the Globe and Mail, Stubbs denied the allegations, saying they're only coming out because she has opposed O'Toole's leadership.
In Myanmar, the power of the military that took over in a coup earlier this year was further cemented today. The civilian leader, ousted from power earlier this year, was sentenced to 2 years in jail. And as Sasha Petrusik reports, criticism of that move isn't limited to Myanmar.
Protesting the verdict, defying the military, people in Yangon took to the streets today. Elsewhere in Myanmar, somewhere secret, deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi began her 2-year jail sentence. She was last seen 6 months ago as her trial started on charges ranging from incitement to violating COVID rules. Today, in a sealed courtroom, she was found guilty.
The trial was a sham trial by a military-controlled court.
The ruling was harshly denounced by the UN and in capitals around the world. Over more than 3 decades, Suu Kyi became a symbol of Myanmar's struggle for democracy over military dictatorship. Among her accolades, a Nobel Peace Prize and honorary Canadian citizenship. Recently, the world condemned her crackdown on Myanmar's Rohingya minority, but her popularity at home never faded.
It's not that people want her back in power, it's that they want the military out of power, and she's a symbol of that striving.
Foreign criticism hasn't deterred Myanmar's military junta, which took power from Suu Kyi's government after it won a landslide vote a year ago. Canada's UN ambassador, previously Ottawa's special envoy to Myanmar, investigating the Rohingya crisis, says it's time for more targeted sanctions against the generals.
And you got to remember that the junta is a business as well as a regime. And so the more we can strike at, where it hurts them and how it hurts them, the better off we'll be. But the people of Myanmar are suffering.
Ray denounces the verdict, but says many at the UN don't believe in widespread embargoes. Tonight, the anger, the protest of pots and pans echoed again through Yangon. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Toronto.
A CFL game turned ugly off the field, and police are now investigating this. Coming up, the fallout for fans and players.
Should we handle it better? Probably.
Plus, provinces are expanding access to 3rd doses of the COVID vaccine. Will businesses require it?
Today, that's 2 shots, and at some point in the future, it might be 3. And when that occurs, we'll require that.
And
this has to be a joke. This is a joke. Stickers?
Chanel releases an expensive advent calendar, and it's trending on TikTok for all the wrong reasons.
This is absolutely a lesson in brand strategy and how you speak to a Gen Z audience.
We're back in 2.
Welcome back. Ontario had planned to phase out its proof of vaccination program as early as next month. That plan has now changed. The vaccine passport expected to be in place for several months, if not longer. And as Julia Wong explains, with boosters now widely recommended, some are already preparing for the requirements of being fully vaccinated to grow.
Dozens of workers fill this construction site in Edmonton. Every single one of them is fully vaccinated. For Shandro's construction, it's mandatory.
You know, the science on this is clear, and so we've always been following the science.
That science has prompted expanded access to third doses for many Canadians. Tim Caldwell says that is raising questions among employees.
We've got a policy now, and the question is, like, when does the policy include boosters?
Right now, a person is fully vaccinated if they have 2 doses of an approved vaccine or 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. But Federal Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos hinted Sunday on Rosemary Barton Live that definition could expand to require a 3rd dose.
Probably, almost certainly, because that's how the history of vaccination proceeds. You know, with vaccines have a limited time during which they are fully effective.
Canada would not be alone. 3rd doses are now required for vaccination passports in France and in Israel. Labor law specialist James Lingwood says companies may need to update their policies.
They're in the situation where their policy spells out what it means to be fully vaccinated and doesn't dovetail with what the government's saying. In that sort of a situation, the employer is going to have to look at rewriting its policy, notifying its staff.
Health policy expert Cheryl Camillo says Canadians may be frustrated if goalposts move, but
this is a good sign that our public health authorities are following the latest science, and that there is such a strong investment in science to protect us.
As for Caldwell, he'll be closely watching what qualifies as being fully vaccinated.
So today that's 2 shots, and at some point in the future it might be 3. And when that occurs, we'll require that.
Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
Next on The National, we continue our crucial conversation about intimate partner homicide and what people need to know.
Kids need to know that it's not normal to receive 100 text messages a day from the person that loves them.
Plus,
don't you worry, the mother's gonna make her
Tragically here, honor the victims of the École Polytechnique massacre. Stay with us.
Welcome back. As we laid out a little earlier, CBC News has been compiling data for more than a year now on Canadian cases of intimate partner homicide. That data is giving us a detailed national view of these deadly relationships for the very first time. And as Caroline Bargut shows us, it is renewing the conversation about how society can intervene and how individuals can avoid them or get out of them.
Susan Caribou did everything she could to help her friend Marie Morin find the strength to leave a violent relationship.
Especially on the holidays.
On 5 separate occasions, Morin came to stay with Caribou, but she always went back.
She didn't want to talk about it, but I would tell her, you got to leave this guy. You know, this guy is going to end up killing you one day.
On May 14th last year, Morin went back to her boyfriend one last time. She was killed the next day. Could anything have helped her and so many others locked in these dangerous relationships? Police know the signs and try to get there in time. They say on average, it takes victims of intimate partner violence 12 tries before they leave for good. Winnipeg Police Detective Sergeant Shane Weprock says 2/3 of the time, victims don't want the relationship to end. They just want the violence to stop.
The first step is really the hardest for a victim to navigate through, but that's what we're here for, is to really help them take that first step and to assist them in navigating through some of the darkest hours that they're going through.
Last January, the Winnipeg Police Service launched a pilot program in which officers were partnered with a domestic violence support worker to better respond to calls involving intimate partner violence. The idea is to bring essential resources to victims as soon as possible to start safety planning and figuring out next steps. It's not just physical danger. There are other warning signs to watch for.
Kids need to know that it's not normal to receive 100 text messages a day from the person that loves them.
Jesmond Mendoza agrees. He's a Toronto psychologist specializing in gender-based violence at post-secondary schools. He remembers early in his career, he was invited to a high school to talk about healthy relationships, and the students really responded to it.
I recall that class being really hanging on to all the ideas that I was sharing about in terms of how do you look for a partner that is compatible with you, how do you work through relationship issues, and then how do you exit those relationships gracefully if they're not working for either or both individuals without having to resort to violence, abuse, control, harassment.
How do people recognize their loved ones are in trouble? Do they seem isolated, cut off? Are they fearful or acting differently? Lana Wells has thought a lot about this.
The reality is the majority of victims do not go to police and do not go to formal supports. They go to their friends and family and colleague. And so that means it's all of us need to better understand violence and what we can do about it and be positive supporters for people who are experiencing it. Believe them, love them, support them, and get them the supports and services they need, and also get the supports and services you need to be a good supporter.
That's what Susan Caribou tried to be for Marie Morin.
That guy really had a hold on her. She told me more than a few times she really wants to leave him, but she was scared to. He would find her no matter what. So that's what she always told me.
The experts agree that saving people from deadly relationships involves knowing what to look for early on and where to turn for help. Caroline Bargut, CBC News, Winnipeg.
And so we want to put these resources in front of you one more time. These sites can point you to crisis lines, shelters, and other supports if you need them. But in any instance of immediate danger, of course, call 911.
Now, we know intimate partner violence isn't always directed at women, but it very often is. And today, violence against women is very much in the spotlight, as we also mark the anniversary of the École Polytechnique shooting. One of the tributes to the victims today comes from the Tragically Hip.
She used to like lavender pantsuits, long black velvet gloves.
The band released this new music video today for a new yet also old song called Montreal.
The snow is so merciless, poor old Montreal.
The song was written shortly after the 1989 massacre, but only released earlier this year. The video is produced by frontman Gord Downey's brother, Mike Downey, featuring the names of the women who died and sketches of them.
It just connects, certainly for myself, it just feels like you connect. You see that face and you go, oh my God, like the life and the vitality.
They were fully alive, they were dreaming.
Nathalie Provost survived that shooting after being hit 4 times. She says the video is a tribute to life.
We are bringing their aliveness close to people, so I'm very, very touched.
Through the song, the HIP is also raising money for the organization Polly Remembers.
Next on The National, Kenya has been reeling from a prolonged drought, and the effects are devastating. The fight for food and the risk to animals already endangered. We go to Kenya to see how people there are coping.
Welcome back. Here at The National and at CBC News, we have pledged to cover the enduring and escalating effects of climate change. Tonight, we take you to Kenya, where the domino effect of extreme weather is forcing people to change how they have lived for decades. In a special report, Margaret Evans shows us what it means to live on the front lines of our changing planet.
There is, on the edges of Kenya's Lake Nakuru, an eerie new world taking shape. One caught in flickering glimpses between the dead trees of a drowned forest and in the waters that swallowed up people's homes over a year ago now. Jane Wanjiru is taking us to see what's left of hers.
We thought it was just to come, and then after 6 months or 3 months, the water will go back.
But it didn't, sinking her dreams. Wanjiru had fought her way out of the slums and the single room she'd shared there with her 2 children to be able to buy something she could call her own.
When you come from very low and then you get something that you feel like you are proud of it, and then a disaster like this comes, you feel very bad, very bad.
Especially when there is no answer to calls for help. Over 200 households, most like Wanjiru's, were lost to the flooding here in Wariki. All are still waiting for compensation. David Karagu bought his land in 1972, a small-scale farmer. He says he doesn't know how to start over again at his age and suffers from depression.
We are blaming people because they have interfered with the environment, especially even the other countries, because industries and all this.
Lake Nakuru lies in the Great Rift Valley, where flooding in a string of lakes has displaced thousands. Massive deforestation has made it worse, and seismic activity could be affecting groundwater levels. But most scientists agree climate change is an amplifier.
The reason why we think climate change could really be playing a role is because these sort of trends have really been accelerated in the past few decades. So there wasn't this before.
The lake has gone from some 40 square kilometers to 70, past the border of Nakuru National Park, which used to enclose it. Lines now blurred over who can fish where, and drawing unemployed youth desperate for a living.
What some officials at the county level have told us they'd like to see is for the government to come in and buy the land, even though it's underwater, as a way of compensating people who've lost their homes, and then to give the land to the national park, which is also under enormous pressure from the expansion of the lake.
Safari roads around it have been washed out, and available habitat for wild animals has shrunk, pushing them closer to human settlements. Flamingos on the lake still offer a picture of seemingly infinite beauty, but what lies beneath is turning deadly. Nakuru used to draw 1 million flamingos a year, but far fewer now. The salinity of the lake diluted, and so too the algae the flamingos feed on. As for the fish those young men are trying to catch, they're showing high levels of chemicals. For Kenya, climate change is a house of cards, and it hasn't stopped tumbling yet. To the north and east in Laikipia, in the shadow of Mount Kenya, the land is thirsty. And competition for it is growing. It's not easy to sneak 100 head of cattle on or off private land, but that's what's happening here through a cut fence, illegal grazing. Pastoralists who run cattle for a living say the failure of seasonal rains has made it a matter of life or death for their herds. Samuel Pareri is a member of the Maasai tribe.
Because we don't have a place to go and our cow are dying, so we see that this is the only place we can get grass.
The Maasai way of life, traditionally nomadic, is already under pressure to shift to sedentary farming and adopt drought-resistant crops. Joachim Kuraru is not a typical herder. A former teacher who works for an aid agency, he and his family still keep a small herd of cattle, but they've also been trying their hand at farming with limited success.
An elephant came through this fence here. You can see the fence. The first season I actually planted, they were all destroyed by elephants.
Laikipia is home to the second largest elephant population in Kenya, along with a dozen wildlife conservancies and several ranches, still associated by many with the colonial days of white British rule.
people are coming up with the notion of conservation as a neo-colonialism. That is what we are thinking. Because people, they value, wild animals are valued more than us.
Abraham Jenga is a wildlife manager with a conservancy called Old Bajeta, 90,000 acres of grassland devoted to sustainable conservation. Some elephants have been raiding crops in a farming settlement next to the wildlife reserve, and he's on his way.
The idea we're trying is to push them back to the conservation area.
They've decided to bring in a helicopter, but even then, it's a challenge. At one point, an elephant seems to be trying to charge it. The helicopter lands to pick up Jenga, who will fire blanks into the air. In the end, they only manage to redirect 2. It can be distressing to watch, but Jenga says it's for their own protection.
Actually, human-wildlife conflict is becoming even a bigger challenge now, seemingly even more than poaching, because we don't want people to retaliate.
The Conservancy sits right at the equator on Mount Kenya's western side. It boasts the so-called Big Five animals on its safaris and turns those tourist dollars back into conservation and, it says, into community jobs. But the growth in farming all around is threatening already endangered species.
We are losing the wildlife migration routes and the corridors as well. Even the dispersal areas that we used to have to the south, now most of these parts, they are all settled.
Add to the mix the pastoralists fleeing drought, demanding access to Conservancy watering holes and pastures, sometimes just taking it, and the gathering storm on the horizon becomes clear. The one thing uniting them is the same thing driving them: fear. To change cultures and ways of life, to anticipate and adapt to the extremes of climate change is an enormous task for any country, and Kenya is already facing battle on more than one front. On the ground, it feels like it's fighting it alone. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Kenya.
Next on The National, Chanel decided to capitalize on the rising popularity of luxury advent calendars.
Am I crazy? Absolutely. But I've never seen a Chanel advent calendar, so let's see if it's worth the hype.
Well, now it's trending for all the wrong reasons. Plus,
A scuffle off the field at a Grey Cup playoff game. Now police are investigating. Next.
I'm Angela Starrett. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast, Front Burner. As prices go up across the board, inflation's become a tool to hammer Justin Trudeau's Liberals. So we're taking a look at the economics and the politics. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Canadian tennis star Bianca Andreescu plans to sit out next month's Australian Open. The 21-year-old announced on social media that she needs to recharge, both mentally and physically, after being worn out by multiple weeks of forced quarantines for COVID protocols. She says she was also deeply affected by her grandmother's time in an ICU fighting COVID. But after a break, she says she will be back stronger than ever. Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats now have their shot at the Grey Cup after defeating the Toronto Argos on Sunday on their own turf. But it's a clash off the field that's now captured the attention of fans, the league, and the police. Greg Ross has that story.
Go, Bud! Go, Bud! Go, Bud! Go, Bud!
Oh. This chaotic scene played out just moments after the Argos were eliminated from the CFL playoffs as the team was leaving the field.
Anytime that there's a negative experience between our players and our fans, it's extremely disappointing.
Argos GM Mike Pinball Clemens says the team is cooperating with police. This video circulating online shows Argos defensive back Chris Edwards walking towards a group of fans. Several of his teammates scramble to the scene. Then a fan dressed in Ticat colors appears to clash with Edwards. There's a scuffle. Argos receiver Dejon Brissett intervenes before security gets involved.
Bethel Thompson.
Quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson says the scene was hostile despite the fact this was a home game for the Argos. Thousands of Tiger Cat fans made the hour-long drive from Hamilton.
It's a Hamilton game. Of course, all the Hamilton fans were screaming that we're idiots. Some of the terms that were used towards some of these players aren't acceptable in any avenue of life. So should we handle it better? Probably. But, I think everybody's got a hand in this thing, and we got to figure out a better way to, to handle this thing.
How exactly it all started and how many people were involved is unclear from the videos alone. 2 people are charged with trespassing, and police are not ruling out more charges. At this point, the Argos have not said if they will discipline players.
I've certainly seen some of the footage. I heard from the police right afterwards that our players were great. It's best for the professionals that are involved in this to give us some more concrete answers.
And the Argonauts say local police are working with stadium security and the league office to determine how this altercation started and what, if any, action needs to be taken moving forward. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Drake has pulled out of the Grammy Awards. The Canadian rapper received 2 nominations, one of them for this song. Why he pulled out of the awards race is unclear, but Drake has criticized the Grammys in the past, most notably last year when the awards shut out fellow Canadian The Weeknd from any nominations. For many people, this is Advent calendar season. They can come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and materials, but the latest trend is luxury. French fashion house Chanel released its own with a very steep price tag. But as Jacqueline Hansen tells us, some say it is a flop.
I've never seen a Chanel Advent calendar.
It started out as a simple unboxing on social media.
10 out of 10 on the packaging front.
A first look inside Chanel's exclusive Advent calendar. The company calls it a collector's item made in ultra-limited quantities with an ultra-elite price tag of $1,025 Canadian. But for this TikTok user, it didn't live up to the hype.
Okay, this has to be a joke. This is a joke. Stickers? Stickers?
Her reaction has racked up more than 14 million views. But what's inside the calendar shouldn't actually come as a surprise. It's all laid out on Chanel's website, some full-sized items, some branded trinkets. And if a product's worth is defined by what people are willing to pay, on eBay, some resellers are now pricing it at more than $2,000.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So there may indeed be, many happy owners of Chanel's Advent calendar out there who haven't bothered to tell the world about it on social media.
But more disappointment followed, along with a flood of negative comments on all of Chanel's social media platforms. Then,
Chanel just blocked me.
but Chanel calls that claim absolutely inaccurate. The company says it has never blocked access to the Chanel TikTok account to anyone because it is simply not active. It also says it is sorry that this calendar may have disappointed some people.
Really,
This digital media strategist says it shows how quickly misinformation can spread.
They're not reporters, they're not fact checking. They're seeing a situation happen and they're steamrolling on the opportunity because for them, it does build their audience, which is ultimately what they want.
For Chanel to get its message heard, it may have to break its TikTok silence.
This is absolutely a lesson in brand strategy and how you speak to a Gen Z audience.
Still, Chanel's calendar opened up a few free days of publicity, whether that was the intention or not. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, when we come back, how the pursuit of science turned into a breathtaking moment. The story behind this photo is coming up.
You know what? Let's call this photo Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This is officially an award-winning photo captured by a New Brunswick whale researcher Well, just doing your job. After going through her footage and realizing that picture she had, the researcher submitted it. You know how it ends. The whole story of how science turned into art is our moment.
I was very surprised. I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool, because it's just one of those photos. It's not like we were trying to get a pretty photo of the whale. We were trying to collect data for science. But this one just kind of lined up perfectly, and the timing was just right so that when the whale exhaled, the vapor from its blow reflected the sunlight and created this rainbow. That's what inspired me to submit it. I saw an email come in that said, NSERC Science Exposed ... And I was like, what's this? And it said, you are a winner. And I was just like blown away. So our lab conducts research in the field from a research vessel. We will launch the drone and hover over the whales as they come up to the surface to breathe. And it also allows us to take thermal images of their open blowholes. And it just so happened that science kind of crossed with art. And I owe all the credit to the whales just being, you know, the majestic animals that they are.
Yeah, fair point at the end. And the work looks really fascinating, but isn't that the dream, right? You're just rifling through some old footage and then, wow, that looks pretty good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And she's donating some of the money she won, of course, to whale research. Part of it is just finding out if they have to move because of climate change and if they're okay. That is the National for December the 6th.
Good night.